You are listening to episode 23 of the Aligned Actor podcast. This is going to be a very short intro because really all I want to tell you is that this is episode 23 of the Aligned Actor podcast, and I just did that. So please enjoy. Welcome to the Aligned Actor podcast. I'm Amy Schloerb, and I am an actor and a student of conscious creation, looking to learn, grow, and share my experiences with you so that together we can master our mindsets and manifest the careers of our dreams. Let's play. Hi, folks. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. In my most recent blog post, I wrote myself a letter in honor of the 14-year anniversary of my arrival in Los Angeles. So I wrote this letter to my younger self as if I could just magically place it on the table when I arrived at my new first apartment in Los Angeles. So I imparted some wisdom and advice, things that I've learned over the years, my years as a professional actor here in Los Angeles. And I thought for fun, it'd be fun to make a podcast about this. And it's just a little bit different because I actually kind of expanded on some things and I threw in some other stuff. So it's different, but it's the same. It's sort of a companion piece, let's say. So welcoming people to the acting profession and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe not necessarily just Los Angeles. You could be in any kind of market and all of this stuff is going to apply. And it's really more about your mindset and sort of powerful professional career advice as opposed to acting craft advice. So I'm already going to assume that you can act. And even if you can't, it's not really something I can teach you in a podcast anyway. That would be weird. So I'm going to stay in my lane and just talk about helpful things that you can keep in mind to keep you in the game and empowered in your mindset so that you are set up for success. So here we go. Okay, so first of all, welcome. Whether you're in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, any market, welcome to the acting profession. We're glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you here. And if you're anything like me, I would imagine that you're feeling very excited and eager to prove yourself and to get to work. And my first piece of advice actually fits in very nicely with that. So the first thing I want you to remember is success is a journey, not a destination. And I can feel you perhaps rolling your eyes at me right now. Like, oh, great, she's quoting us magnets and bumper stickers. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I know this. I know we've all likely heard this, but it's really true. And it's worth it to not just go, yeah, okay, I know. But to really stop and consider this for a moment. So here's what I wrote to my younger self in that letter. Success is a journey, not a destination. I know, you've seen this on magnets, and sometimes you even think you understand and believe it. But there's still something nagging at the back of your mind saying, yeah, but once I achieve that, then I'll really be successful. Sorry, no. If you believe success is a destination, you'll end up hustling, striving, and holding yourself apart from happiness and a sense of accomplishment. You have success now. High school Amy Schloerb believed that success was graduating and getting into a good college. College Amy Schloerb believed success was, again, graduating and starting a good career. Now that you're in Los Angeles, you're thinking a good career means booking bigger and better jobs consistently and continuously until you're the next Reese Witherspoon. Not gonna lie, I still sometimes think that, but then I remember the truth. Setting goals is great, but continuously moving the goalpost on what it means to be successful is soul-crushing. If you keep thinking, yeah, I did that, good for me, but now real success is up there. Guess what? Real success will always be up there, wherever the F either of those two things are. Instead, put the goalpost of success inside you. What the heck does that even mean? It means enjoy the process and the journey, because spoiler alert, that's all there is. Journey. And then more journey, some more journey, a quick detour journey to a foreign country. Oops, I've said too much. Followed by, you guessed it, more journey. It's quite a trip. Oh, stop rolling your eyes. You know that was funny. There's going to be ups and downs, highs and lows, abundance and slow times. And the sooner you recognize that that's just what this career is, the happier you're going to be overall. You're in the arena. Look up the Roosevelt quote. It's good. And that means you're already successful. So the takeaway here from this thing that I wrote to myself is you get to decide what success means. And I would encourage you to define success as the entirety of the journey of your career rather than some destination, like booking that co-star or booking that guest star, booking that series regular, that 3-picture deal, paying all your bills from acting work, an Oscar, an Emmy, an EGOT, whatever. Holding the journey as your marker of success is so liberating, guys. It's so liberating and it's so rewarding. So please don't hold yourself apart from your happiness and your fulfillment and your achievement. You can have it right now. Okay, so that's piece of advice number 1. Success is a journey, not a destination. Hold that in mind. Figure out a way to wrap your brain around that makes sense to you. Piece of advice number 2, find your friends. So actor peers can help you with this. Some, not all. Some are still very caught up in the destinations, but many have come to embrace the journey and know that the journey is where the success is. So having actor pals can be helpful for advice point number 1. But regardless, having some actor pals around in general is really, really helpful when you're starting out, because these people are going to get you. So they're going to be cool if you make plans and then all of a sudden you have to cancel because an audition comes up. And they're going to be people that you can share information and resources with. So like headshot photographers, what classes you like, agents, workshops, all of that kind of stuff. And they will also understand stuff about your career that your family and non-actor friends will just never understand, no matter how many times you explain it to them. So for example, let's say that you keep getting called in to audition for the same casting director a dozen times, but you're not booking. And your family might be thinking, oh, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, why can't you convert? Why can't you just get a job? But your actor friends are going to know that you're really good. And this casting director obviously is a huge fan of your work. And for whatever reason, the right role just hasn't come up for you yet in their office. So your actor pals are going to actually be able to help you stay smart and optimistic about your career and your craft. Whereas your family and non-actor friends might have you spiraling down and questioning yourself and thinking things like, maybe I really do suck. Maybe they're just bringing me in to make the other actors look better. Maybe I need to change my look or my skills or whatever. When the truth is, you just need to take a breath. Acknowledge that, yeah, it's super frustrating to not book. But ultimately, also celebrate the fact that you've made a pretty big fan in the industry, in this casting director, and you're certainly on a successful journey as a professional actor. Just a little callback there to point 1 about the journey. The success is in the journey. I'm going to keep hitting that point a lot, probably, in this podcast. So where do we find actor friends? Where are you going to find your actor friends? I found mine in an improv community out here in Los Angeles. There are lots of those around. You can barely throw a stone without hitting an improviser. Shoot. So anyway, there's a lot of improv communities in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, all of these places. They're great for finding people, fellow actors. to be in community with and to make friends with. Also acting classes. So a lot of the improv communities have acting classes that will teach you how to improvise. So there's that. If you're coming right out of college or a conservatory program of some kind, maybe see if there's an alumni living near you, like living in your market, or maybe you're coming out with a bunch of friends. That could be a way to maintain friends and then start making more friends as they go out into the world and you go out into the world and you're all making friends with different people. When I first started out, Facebook wasn't public yet, but now there's all kinds of groups on there. You can follow casting directors. There's all kinds of groups for actors. There's class studios have pages, all this stuff. You can kind of look around, browse, see what looks good to you. But seriously, I would fully recommend getting into a class of some kind, because you'll meet people and you'll get out there. And then getting into a class actually fits in nicely with my next piece of advice. So my third piece of advice is build your toolkit and keep it sharp. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to be telling you about the acting craft, but and I'm still really not. But I do believe that it's very important, even if you've spent years studying and training, to continue learning and adding techniques to your actor toolkit, and then keeping those tools sharp by using them either on set or on stage or in class or doing your own production work or, producing your own content, whatever you're going to do. And the easiest way, although it's also the most expensive way too, because you're paying and not getting paid, is to get into a class. And that way you get to keep learning from somebody new. And you also get to maintain and practice your skills. And a really good acting teacher or coach is going to help you stretch and expand and keep growing your skills so that then you can very easily roll onto set or stage and just really rock it because you're prepared and your muscles haven't atrophied. So for me, acting class is just like going to the gym, right? So I go to work out my actor muscles so that they don't atrophy. Like I said before. So I can memorize things really quickly. I can analyze a script and immediately know who I am, what I want, what's at stake for me. I'm in shape, and my acting craft is in shape because I stay in class. And just as a side note, this is another thing that your actor pals are going to understand fully, but your family might not. As a quick story, my father-in-law recently asked my husband and I, my husband is also an actor, why we were still taking acting class. He was like, "What? Don't you already know how to act? Like, you've been doing this for years professionally. Don't you know how to do this?" And my husband, who loves basketball, and I think his dad is also into sports, said, "Well, no, Dad, it's like how basketball players go to practice. So LeBron James, he knows how to play basketball, right? No one would argue that. But he still shows up to practice. He still does his drills. He still goes to the workouts, because if he didn't, he'd get rusty. So it's the same thing for actors. And your actor pals are going to get that. Your family, it might take them longer to understand that. So yeah, anyway, that's another way that your actor pals are going to relate to you in a different way. So in my opinion, my advice, go to class, or at least in some way be using your skills. Sometimes I call it ABA, always be acting. So just finding ways to act, I think, is valuable, and I think it keeps your skills sharp and ready to go for those big jobs. But there's also something that I want you to keep in mind as you take classes, and that's getting, and as you get advice from people and stuff. And that is my fourth point, which is no one has the answer, quote unquote, but you. And I'm totally serious about this, and this is hugely important in my opinion. So everyone has an opinion about how to navigate an acting career and what you have to do or what you should do to be successful. Hello, I'm doing a whole podcast about it right now. But I keep telling myself that I'm not really giving you advice on how, like the how of all of it. It's much more mindset based, but whatever. Anyway, the point is, everyone has an opinion about how to navigate an acting career, right? And I want you to keep in mind, especially as you're starting out, that there is no one answer in terms of actually how to make it as an actor, whatever making it means to you. There may be what worked for that guy over there or what worked for me, but guess what? You are not that guy over there, and you're certainly not me. You're you. And so you need to figure out what works for you. Now, you can try out what worked for that guy over there. If you're like, hey, that looks like fun. That looks interesting. He's getting good results from that. Let me try that out. Go for it. Try it out. You can try out what worked for me if you like what I'm doing. But if those things don't light you up, if they don't get you excited, or if they don't yield the kind of results that you're looking for, try something else. You're in charge here. And just because it worked for that guy over there, and he's all like, oh, dude, whatever you do, you got to be doing this. You got to be doing blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean that his way is necessarily going to work for you or work for me. There is no science to this whole acting career thing. We can't peer review each other's careers, okay? They're not science experiments that we can reproduce and be like, oh, look, we're always getting the same results when we combine X and Y, we always get Z. It doesn't work like that. It would be great if it did, because if there was one way, we would all be doing it. But instead, what I think is even more beautiful and more freeing is that everyone is doing their own thing, with some overlap here and there, but ultimately, we're all on our own journeys, yet another callback to that, and we're hopefully enjoying them. My last 3 ideas all come from my letter to my younger self, and they're a little bit shorter, so I'm just going to read them and kind of sum up as I go. So here we go. All acting work is real. Enjoy it. Don't treat any acting job like a stepping stone or practice session for a real job. They are all real jobs. Different budget levels maybe, but your job is always the same. Know your lines, know what you want in each scene, and do your work. Rinse and repeat. Any idea that, oh, this is good practice for when I'm really working is nonsense. You're really working now. Stop missing out on the fun you're having right now by continually telling yourself that this job doesn't count. It counts. Enjoy it. Celebrate them all. So folks, I kid you not, I did this for years. And I finally stopped doing it, and it's so much better. I've stopped comparing various jobs at various different budget levels or various different exposure levels, like, oh, network versus cable versus industrial versus web series. Like, that's not really a job. It's like, no, they're all jobs. They're all jobs. They're all fun. I'm enjoying them. I'm going to allow myself to enjoy them because I deserve it. Comparison is the thief of joy. We get to enjoy all of the work. My next one was create. Don't wait for permission or perfection to create stuff and put it out into the world. Just do it. Lean into your inspirations and follow them full out. Play, explore, throw stuff up online, and again, rinse and repeat. Some of it might be crap, or maybe only a handful of people will ever see it, but what you will learn in the process will be invaluable. Oh, and fun. Tons of fun. So yeah, acting, other artistic stuff, whatever. Kind of the big point here is about filling your creative soul. I discovered a number of years ago that I needed to be fulfilling my creative soul or doing something creative in order to feel like myself. And it turns out that creativity is a core value of mine. And so it made sense that if I wasn't creating something, whatever it was, it could be anything. It could have been writing. It could be making something in Canva, graphic design. Like, all kinds of different stuff work to fill up my creative well. But if I wasn't doing that stuff, I felt like I was suffering, not, suffering, but I just didn't feel like me. I was like, no, I don't feel good. Things aren't great. I just don't feel like me. And then I would all of a sudden be like, oh, I haven't done something creative in a while. That's why. So, my point is, I don't feel like me if I'm not doing something creative. So even writing this podcast is creative, right? So my point to you is, I'm guessing as an actor, you might be similar. And so make sure that you're getting that creative fulfillment from somewhere. And also, there is the advice out there that, you got to write your own ticket as an actor. Everybody's getting their own show and stuff. I would caution against doing it solely for the reasons of like, oh, I'm going to write my own show and then sell it to Netflix and that kind of stuff, because I want you to be doing this from your heart, from something that you want to put out there, that you will put out there regardless of if it sells to Netflix or not. Like, do this to fill yourself up creatively. Don't worry about the audience or the quote unquote level of success that it might have going out there. Like, solely do it for the creative process is what I'm saying, I guess. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anyway, so create. That was another thing. And it has, like I'm saying, it has multiple benefits. It can expose you more to the world and have more people see your work and like your work and maybe hire you. That happened to me, certainly. And also, it's going to fill up your creative well. Okay, my third piece of advice is going to sound awful, but it's not, so stick with me. No one cares. If you think someone is judging you, chances are you're really just projecting your own self-judgment onto them. Abandon judgment altogether, and remember that while you're busy worrying about what they think, they are probably just as worried about what you think. And you're both so caught up in this stupid game of self-obsession that no one has stopped to realize, ta-da, no one cares what anyone else is really doing. Or maybe we all care, but only in the, oh, that's cool sense rather than the, why would you do that sense. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because reminding myself of this fact on a regular basis is freeing. So that's what I wrote to myself. So yeah, other people, I don't think, are really all that concerned with what we're doing, right? So we're sitting there thinking about ourselves and about the things we create and stuff, and we're like, oh, are people gonna like this? Like, and that's natural. I do that all the time. But I also think that, like, since everybody else is also concerned, we're all more concerned about other people liking us than we are about what other people are doing. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So, but my point is, I really don't think anybody cares. I think that, I really don't. And I don't think it from like, nobody cares. Nobody wants to see your stuff. Nobody cares. That's not what I mean. What I mean is they're not judging you. You're judging yourself. That's my own opinion about that. So live your life. Put your stuff out there. Know that, when you put yourself out there, when you let your freak flag fly, as it were, you're giving other people permission to do the same. And usually it's very inspiring that when you watch other people put themselves out there and do things, it's really much more of like, oh, wow, look at her. She's doing her thing. And I'm going to do my thing too. Yeah. So I don't think judgment is happening as much as we think it's happening. And if it is happening, that's on them. You don't need to worry about it. I hope that point made sense. So that's my advice for newcomers to the acting profession. Oh, but wait, there's more. It's like an infomercial. But wait, there's more. I also highly recommend that you come and join us in the Aligned Actor community. I've kind of expanded the Aligned Actor community. It's on Facebook. That's our private Facebook group, which you can find at facebook.com/groups/the Aligned Actor community. But I've also realized that not everybody's on Facebook, and I just watched The Social Dilemma, and I have a feeling a lot more people are going to be not on Facebook. Did I say that right? I think I did. So I've expanded my definition of the Aligned Actor community to be, that Facebook group is certainly part of it, but it also exists as my my mailing list. Because through the mailing list, I'm also going to get you hooked up with the monthly Evite to our meetup. We do a Zoom meetup every month, and that's been really fun recently, where we talk about conscious creation and about intentions and goals and joys and support each other and vision for each other and stuff like that. So the mailing list, how you get on the mailing list is you can go to thealignedactor.com, and I think it's like literally the first thing on the page. I was just working on it yesterday, and you can get signed up there. I also have a new little freebie that you get when you sign up for the mailing list and join the Aligned Actor community with me. It's a guided visualization to help you reconnect with yourself. And so that's fun. So you get that, you get invites to our Zooms. If you care to join those, you get immediate access into the private Facebook group. You'll get first notification on any kind of workshop or product or anything else that I end up doing at any time. Oh, and my monthly newsletter, which is basically like a recap of the month and, the podcast episodes that I put out in case you miss those, because I don't know about you, but I'm subscribed to like 18 million podcasts. And so looking through, I always miss certain ones. So it's that and the blog posts and stuff. So anyway, it's some fun stuff. So join the Aligned Actor community. I would highly recommend that. It gets a lot of the things done that are on my advice list, right? Because it's community, so it's making friends with other actors. So it's mostly that one. But it's also that, I am going to be continually reminding you that success is a journey, not a destination. So there's that one too. I think we get creative in that group. That's fun because we do visioning and we do visualizations and stuff. That's creative. I don't know. Anyway, I was trying to pull something together there in the last minutes. We'll see. Anyway, come join the Aligned Actor community. Like I said, it's a fun place to be. You can find the mailing list at thealignedactor.com, and that's a fun way for us all to connect. Okay, thanks, folks. Bye. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you feel inspired to do so, please subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast with your actor pals so that more people can enjoy the good vibes. Also, be sure to join the Aligned Actor community on Facebook by going to facebook.com/groups/the Aligned Actor community. That's the place where this podcast gets interactive. It's a pretty fun party. You're going to want to get in on it. Until next time, remember, you are an amazing actor and you are creating the career of your dreams. Congrats!